Hi, folks. Thanks so much for tuning in to another episode of The Hitstreak. Check it out. I got to give a big shout out to my show sponsor, my friends over at AVLX. I also have to give a big shout out to Charles Henry and Ace Young, the amazing performers and producers of the music behind the show, as well as the amazing people that make up the Hit Lab creative team, who are the producers of the show. Folks, I have a favor to ask. If you like what you hear, and I know you do, click that subscribe button to make sure you get alerted when new episodes are dropped. Thanks for tuning in.
The real success stories told by the people who live them.
We're going to have some guests on this show that everybody knows, and we're going to have guests on this show that nobody knows yet.
One by one, Nick Hyder is adding hits to the hit streak.
Blessings, folks. Welcome back to another episode of The Hit Streak. I'm your man, Nick Hyder, and in the Hit Lab with me today, I've got some major star power. 2 stars, actually. The first one, I've got the first DJ to ever sign a major Nashville record contract in Dee Jay Silver, and I've got our episode 15 guest, our first repeat offender, DJ Rod Youree, in the building with me today. Fellas, thanks for hanging.
Yeah, thanks for having us. I like your new place, man.
Thanks for having. Glad to be back.
Well, the place is cool, isn't it?
Yeah, the place is really cool.
We're very, very proud of it, and very grateful to our friends over at AVLX for not just sponsoring the show, but they built this place, and
nice.
It's man, it's a good time.
AVLX needs to come over to my house.
I bet we can make that happen.
Yeah,
I bet we can make that happen. Lance, we got to get you in touch with Silver, okay? So look, man, I got hot sheets on you guys, and the accolades are. I mean, it goes on forever and ever. We got a lot to talk about today, though, don't we? Because you guys got a lot of stuff going on.
Something like that.
So, well, before we get into too much, let's take the folks back, because I actually we've been buddies for a while now.
Long time.
In the Nashville bar scene, dude, you have literally true rags to riches story. The American dream, it's unbelievable. When I met you, it wasn't that long ago, you were sleeping on Rod's couch.
When he lived in Murfreesboro, and I still lived in Texas, actually.
So from Texas.
I'd fly in from Austin and just feel like Nashville, if anytime I could get close to the area in Nashville, from like St. Louis to Cleveland to Atlanta to Charlotte, I always kind of try to swing through.
That's awesome. So how did you meet Rod?
I don't know, how do we?
I think it was like 07, 06, somewhere around there. You came and played at Drink in Knoxville.
Too. Oh, Lord.
Rode through with the Jackass crew, I think.
Yeah, you're welcome for that. That was a total shit show.
MTV and Jackass crew. So with
we did the Jackass
cameras.
World Tour.
Yeah.
So you met Rod then. You guys became fast friends. Obviously, you had something in common in music, and the rest is kind of history. So right?
I feel like we became pretty quick friends and always stayed in contact. And
both fat kids like to go eat. That's right. We got done DJing.
That's right.
So how in the world do you? So you were the first, as I said before, you were the first DJ to ever sign a major Nashville record contract, right? So with a big one. So how in the world did you go from sleeping on Rod's couch playing little bitty clubs to that? Because now you got a. I mean, I'm going to talk about it in a minute, but you've got serious radio shows, you got residencies in Vegas and everywhere else. You've got multiple brands that you've launched since then. I mean, it's amazing. How in the world did you go from that to that? Like,
a lot of no's kind of really made me mad. I said I'm going to do it. A lot of people said I couldn't do it, and I just took it as a, I'm going to make it happen kind of thing. And we started to get a little Nashville traction, a little bit. This kind of, and I was so green to the Nashville scene. I didn't know what's when you, I don't even know what it's called when you do shows and showcases and invite people out to see you. And we never did any of that. We always came in with Rod and started to pick up a little traction. And then, I met a guy named Chance, actually, and he said, I know these people. And we were driving downtown, and I said, let's get out and talk to these people. And it was actually Warner Chapel. Mm-hmm. And I met a lady walking up the stairs and kind of told her what I did. And she says, let me introduce you to another guy. And I met Mr. Jim Catino. And that is not the right name. I messed that all the way up.
That's all right.
We met Mr. Scott Hendricks at the time.
There you go.
And he actually did the first country remix to a Brooks and Dunn song, come to find out that day. And he said, give me 10 minutes. 10 minutes turned into 4 hours. 4 hours turned into working on projects for him for Blake Shelton. And just a couple like that. Then I kind of feel like we had an option to do something here. And to circle back to Jim Contino, he's the one that signed me at Sony. So that's where the names got mixed up right there.
Well, it's so there's a lot of, just like when Charlie Monk was in here, we were talking about how there's so many amazing performers that nobody will ever hear of. There's so many great songs that get cataloged that never get cut, that nobody will ever hear. There's a lot of great guys that can play and entertain and do all those things really, really well. But like you said something a second ago, and I got to give you your first one because you said the nose.
Yeah,
the
they
nose.
just piss me off, to be honest. It's like it's easy for somebody without a dream or a vision or any kind of drive to say no. No is always the easy way out.
Absolutely.
And if the word no hurts your feelings, you shouldn't do anything in life.
Oh.
And so the minute I hear no, I'm just like, all right, watch me. I'm about to hurt your feelings. No,
that's right.
It's going to happen.
That's very common in all the people that win.
I used to cold call clubs when I would book myself, and the club would say, no, we're busy, and I'd say, who's your competitor? That is the honest to God truth. And what's your busy night? I'll be playing there that night.
So we mentioned Charlie a minute ago. Charlie mentioned two things. I was asking what's the most important things you can do. He's like, one, you got to learn to self-promote, and two, you got to be authentic. You got to be true to who you are and be the best version of it, and you don't falter. So you came here to do something, and you did it. I mean, you could have gone off on probably multiple different paths, right?
Yeah, probably.
But you came to Nashville, and that was what you were going to do, and you literally broke barriers, pioneered something that didn't exist.
Yeah, facts.
So
I was always known as the guy that played a lot of country music, and depending on what section of the country, maybe too much. But I've always believed in to be successful in anything, you got to be genuine to yourself, especially DJing. When you play music, if you're playing music that you know that I don't like, everyone out there is going to feel it.
That's right.
I'm going to give you what you want to do, but I'm going to do what I want to do too. And I feel like you work with me and give me a little, I'm going to give you all you want. And I feel like the ebb and flow of this party is going to work.
Holy cow. So you had to be in sales. You had to learn how to turn no's into yeses. But one of the things that both you guys are really, really good at, because I've been friends with you guys for a long time, is all the most successful people they're the best at cultivating relationships.
Got to.
Right. And obviously you guys have had a long-standing relationship. We mentioned when Rod was here, he's been on tour with Rascal Flatts and a bunch of iconic acts. And so let's tell the folks. A lot of people are probably looking at it and be like, man, he looks and sounds really familiar. I know that guy. I've seen him a million times.
He's taller on TV.
There you go. So, they might have seen you on the ACA Awards a couple years back. They probably saw you on tour with, I don't know, let's get into that for a second.
I've been with Aldine for 12 years. This is actually my 12th tour. I've toured with Flats, Kane Brown, Luke Combs.
All the biggest people.
All of them, all the way up. It's cool to see somebody like Kane, Thomas Rhett, and those people that were 7 o'clock acts at one time now just selling out arenas all across the country.
I remember when Florida Georgia Line, they were, you were friends with them, and you called it. You said these guys are going to be freaking
We
huge.
lived in Nipper's Corner close to each other, and that's a whole nother.
Yeah, you were playing like small bars like for spring break with them.
Yeah,
and they were opening.
They were opening for me. Yeah, how'd that work
right.
out for them, right?
That's right.
Yeah, can I 10% BK?
Yeah, where's your cut?
We talked about you guys were nice enough to let me open for you guys in the past, back in the day, which was a lot of fun. So
yeah, that was fun.
I opened for Aldine had an after party that I got to open for. I opened for Rod a million times.
Yeah.
For a lot of great people. You and Jason Aldine are now, extremely close friends, right? Families are close. You guys travel, vacation together, all that stuff. So how did you get in with Jason?
I was playing at Taboo Ultra Lounge at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas, and it was a Sunday night. I have a very dear friend of mine to my day. He's still on my Blackout roster, DJ Shift. I would book him out of town, and I would take his Sunday night spots in Vegas. That's how I started playing Vegas. And I booked him in Cincinnati, and I took Vegas, and came in, and they said, this country singer named Jason Aldean's coming in. And I literally had the table in front of the DJ booth, and I was like, "What?" It was sold out. I said, "Just have my table," and I gave him that table. I didn't expect to meet him at all or anything, and I just went and played because Vegas, you never know who walks in a place. One of the best pieces of advice I ever got is like, whoever you think you are is in this room in Vegas, so just relax and there you go.
Woo! Woo!
And it's a God's honest truth. And so, yeah, I was like, for sure, man, just take care of my friends. Let's get some drinks. And I got to go to work anyways, give him the table. And a few hours went by, played. He came in, and he had a song called She's Country. And at the time, I was doing all the Pimp Juice after parties for Nelly's tour. So I did a dirty word mashup of She's Country and Country Grammar. And I had no idea that song had so much traction on it. It's just something I made off Acid Pro, if anybody knows.
There's an old one.
Yeah, right. And so I played it in the club and then met this guy named Kevin Neal. And he was just like, hey, you want to go on tour? This guy's going out on tour. I said, yeah, man. He goes, don't call me, I'll call you. And a couple weeks later, gave me my 2010 schedule.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
That's
crazy.
incredible. And then you've been with him, and now all acts have. You were the first.
That's it. Now every festival to tour has a DJ rolling through it.
You should be getting a cut off every one of those DJs.
Facts.
You should be getting cut off
Facts.
because you were the first one, right?
Rocky Duncan, send me some donuts, bro.
Everybody owes you a thank you and a check.
That's facts.
So I remember that. I remember back in 2010 when you went on your first tour. How long was it before? How many tours did you do before you signed the record deal? When did you sign the record deal?
First tour was 2010. I think my record deal was 2013.
That sounds about right.
I'd have to look it up, but I think that's about right. And I always had this idea called the Country Club, and and the people at Sony, I went in and met with them, and my manager at the time was Ken Matz, and we went up and we met with all the record labels in town. We had offers from here and here and here, but we didn't have one from Sony. And I met Catino, and I was like, really vibe. This guy's great, and I felt like he got me the entire staff at Sony. I had a family at Sony there, and I said, "This is where I want to be." And he goes, "We don't have a record deal." I said, "Get it." I don't know what to tell you, bro. Don't make me do it. Get it. Yeah. And I spent a lot of years at Sony.
That's awesome. I remember.
Still to this day, I still have some of the best friends from Sony. So.
Absolutely. You were nice enough. You and Rod both. We were. I was in the bar industry, and I had a couple little dive bars downtown and stuff. And you were nice enough to come play to 40 people or 50 people, and we just had a good old time.
Sometimes 40 people, and he'll tell you something. You'll know. Sometimes 40 people is better than 400,000.
Absolutely,
because you're touching everyone there.
That's right.
But we did my album release party with you. What club was that?
Yeah, that
was on Second Ave.
Yeah, what was your place upstairs?
It was called the Attic.
The Attic.
Yeah, it was called the Attic.
Yeah, we also did one at
what's now Aldean's. We did when it was Tequila Cowboy back then. Yeah,
I just remember the next day we did it. And I just did what I did. I was hammered. I was like, we walked in and he's like, oh God. I
remember your one party at Hard Rock downtown where Sony had provided wigs for everybody.
Yeah, it was great. That still pops up to this day.
Yep.
I remember Doug Green is a mutual friend of ours, which is doing huge things in Vegas, Resorts World, where I basically live now. He called Rod the next day. He goes, that was fun. And I had lit in, and I was so naive to the city. I just did what I did. I didn't come in kind of like, I mean, that's pretty accurate, right? I just came in and played country and rock, and I didn't know if, man, that was the only club in the world they encourage breakdancing.
Yeah.
My job as a DJ is to make that stop.
That's
Get those 6 awkward dudes not drinking that have never talked to a woman in their life to stop that.
There it is. That's right.
But we had so much fun at that place. That was a good night. Good couple nights.
You let me open for you at the Hard Rock.
It was great
for that, which was a really cool.
That was a total surprise. We did that. I said I want to do an ACM party or a CMA Fest party, and I was like, you know what? And my manager at the time was like, what happens if it doesn't work? And I said, it's going to work. You kidding me? I'll pack this place one way or another. I personally was sending out text invites to everybody we knew, and I got up there, and I remember it was kind of a good night.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was packed. It was packed. I remember that was the first time. I had always talked to Kathy Sewell when she was with Clear Channel back then, and that was where I met her. She was there. Everybody was there.
Yeah, it was great.
It was a good time. I remember those wigs too. That was the wigs came out. You did Good Morning America,
and they sent those to the Good Morning America crew.
They sure did.
Yeah,
they sure did. So, all right. So, besides from the Aldean tours and the other tours, where else would people have ran across Dee Jay Silver?
Been blessed enough to do about every major country music festival in the country, and I'm full time with Live Nation. Thank you, Brian O'Connell, and from Fast Horses to Tortuga to Watershed, to, but also we get to do huge nightclubs around the country.
Yes.
So I tell everybody, I play in Cleveland, Ohio tomorrow, and I can't wait to do it tomorrow night. even though that 7 a.m. flight's going to hurt the next day. But I've been doing it professionally for 23, 22 years. And in the minute we walk on stage, I still can't wait to do it.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I've never seen anybody, you and Rod could both do this. You had the first ever, back when, this is probably 10 years ago, Friends in Low Places, when basically you just put a click track behind, a drum track behind it, and if you just listen to it in the car, it would be not good. Yeah. But you guys had tens of thousands of people wailing it at the top of their lungs, and this was back when you'd first started with Aldenas. It was so cool, man.
I always made country for people that didn't want to give country a chance, so that it make the fan base younger and make it because country to me is a party. I mean, most of it is anyways. There's some of it that I can't listen to, but there's a lot of it is just fun drinking. It's a good time. It's
awesome. It was fun watching from the first tour to like the second, third year. You went from they just rolled out your stuff on a table to then they started building the concert production around.
Yeah, to earn your way for sure.
Absolutely.
My first time was on a forklift in Little Rock, Arkansas, and I was like, fellas, I'm gonna tell you right now, if this is my last gig with you, it is. I'm not getting in that damn thing. No shot.
So, yeah, your inflatables in my garage if you want to come by and grab it after this.
That would look good in here.
We need that. It
would not fit.
So all the festivals, I mean, like, so you mentioned Resorts World. We were there. I was there a couple weeks ago, and we went and saw Rod. He was
the Doghouse.
Yeah, at the Doghouse. It's a killer spot, man. Resorts World is phenomenal.
It is the grossest display of money you'll probably ever walk.
It sure is. It sure is. And in Zook, their nightclub in there. Just while we were there, they had the NHL. All-Star game party. Zed was in there. They had somebody else huge that week.
Every night, Zed, Tiesto, Snake, Cash.
It's like the biggest of the big. But didn't you just play there like last week?
Yeah, play there every week. And yeah, thank the Lord. Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah,
that's right. So they would have. You've played. What else? There was another huge. I'm drawing a blank in Vegas. The pool.
I was resident rehab for years. Rehab pool, and that's what set the tone for Las Vegas.
That's right.
Hakkasan for a while, Jewel. One of my favorite places, Foundation Room, on the record. I've played a lot of them.
That's awesome. All right, so how in the world did you decide? Because you grew up playing sports all through school, right? Mm-hmm. Athlete and all that stuff. How'd you get into music? How'd you get into DJing?
I mean, I really didn't start until college, just trying to pick up a little extra cash and playing fraternity houses, sorority houses, and just kind of, I'm not saying I was good at it. I just really liked to do it, Mm-hmm. I'll never forget my first gig was at a place called Club Millennium in Ezar's Palace in Springfield, Missouri. The DJ was playing and he had to go somewhere, and he just said, "Here to take over," and it had like a 32 channel mixing board and a turntable over here and a turntable over here. No, I didn't know any different. It was terrible, but it was like
sounds exactly to my start.
Yeah, and that was, now you look back on that shit's intentional.
Yeah,
they don't want you to do better than they do.
That's right,
and that's a difference. And I swear to God, when my life changed, that's one thing. Instead of going from, dude, why isn't that me, or that should have been me, or it's like, dude, good for you, bro.
Also, I don't think we've ever mentioned this. The very first bar I ever worked at was Millennium. Also,
was it really?
Just Murfreesboro.
Oh, that's funny.
Get out.
That's funny.
No kidding.
That's funny.
So, all right, well, Rod, like. You've been there from literally the beginning till now, and when I read the laundry list of brands that you co-own or have co-founded before in just a minute, what are some things that stands out to you the most watching when you watch his journey and see all the success that he's had?
I still take his phone calls. Oh, my bad.
Yeah,
I'm kidding. Rod's my daily, man. He was like,
he still actually calls me. It's just incredible that he literally went from sleeping on my couch to he can make a call, and any idea he has now, he can make it happen.
Mm-hmm.
Or anything I need done, he can make it happen.
That's right.
Any of his friends, they can call him right now, and he'll still pick up the phone right away.
That's the way it should be, though.
Yeah.
He picked up the phone when I asked him to come in here, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So
you're damn near forgot. He had to remind me tonight, though.
You're lucky I sent that text last night.
I was like, when is that? Damn it, let's go.
Well, man, again, we're so great.
I need an assistant in a terrible way, but I am too. I'd rather do it myself.
Absolutely. Yeah. I get it. Well, we're ecstatic that to have you in the building today, and like it's a lot of marketing, it's a lot of knowing a lot of things and relationships, because I mean you're not going to find anybody technically that's better than Rod is. You know what I mean?
I tell everybody asked, they said, who's the best DJ in Nashville? I said, Rod Youree.
Absolutely.
Rod Youree. I mean, heck, I just hired him for a private event Jason's house.
Yeah.
They said, get the best DJ you got. I said, well, I'm drinking, so I'm getting Rod.
There you go.
I'm kidding, but yeah.
I'll be drinking too, but
Yeah.
I can DJ and drink.
I'm better drinking. Just ask me, I'll tell you.
So you guys have played a lot of stuff together. What's the gig that stands out the most that you've played together?
Probably my least favorite gig that he loved, Rascal Flatts.
Okay.
Jesus Christ, man.
Well, I didn't know any better.
Jesus Christ. And I literally was like, I'm not coming back. Just fill in for me. And he stayed the whole tour.
Yeah.
You literally did the first 5 shows, and I did the next 30.
Terrible.
Yeah. He crushed it though.
Always does. I had no doubt.
I don't think they ever noticed.
No. Gary LaVox, this is the true story, back to ACM Awards, or CMAs, whichever one's in Nashville. And he walks up, Silver, good to see you, man. We'd love having you on the road. We got to talk about having you again. I said, bro, I did 4 shows. It literally was like deer in the headlight.
Yeah.
I tell you, one gig that we did that you really like is the Titans.
Yeah.
That was brutal on me, though. I mean, I would have to fly in every Sunday.
Yeah, it did not fit your schedule, but getting paid to watch football games,
Yeah.
that's kind of just
Yeah.
insane when you think about it.
Now I do last year I did most of the Cowboys game, and this year I did every home Raiders game. So it's just easier on the West Coast to get 2 hours back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
all my favorite and biggest gigs have been just hand-me-downs.
Bro.
Well, there's not, and I'm not saying it because you're here. I'm just honestly, there's nobody else I would trust to represent me to do that. I know he's not going to be drunk. He's going to be on time. His shit's going to work. And
Yeah.
he's not going to make an ass of himself. And he's going to do right every time.
Well, that's why we wanted to have him in here too, because it was. I mean, like I wouldn't know you if it wasn't for him, and so on and so forth. So, all right. So you mentioned the all the festivals. You're on Sirius XM and been on there for a minute.
I'm on a couple. Yeah, with Sirius XM, I do Pitbull Globalization. Mm-hmm. XM Channel 13, I've been on rotation there for a few years. But I have a syndicated radio show on terrestrial radio. Mm-hmm. This is my 10th year, called The Country Club.
Holy cow.
I actually tracked it this morning, and I got a good crew with me. A backdraft in L.A. mixes it down. A lady in Washington named Becky that sends me the logs, and I got a cat in Nashville named Slam that uploads it, and I just got the vocals, sends it out.
That's awesome. Oh man, in 2013 we were building that second field out at the ballpark.
Yeah.
And so we did a fundraiser to help raise some funds for it.
Mm-hmm.
And you came through and recorded an incredible commercial for us that because you did that, we were able to get it ran on all the major radio stations
awesome.
here and
That's awesome.
everything.
I didn't know that.
And that event happened because of that promo that you shot and sent to us.
That's
man.
awesome.
So
That's awesome.
absolutely. Let's see. And so Rehab Vegas, I mean, the list is so long, I'm getting lost on here doing all this stuff. You played NASCAR. I mean, anything and everything, you've done it pretty much. Like, what's left?
There's a lot left, man. There's a lot left. I still have goals, and every year I set a goal that my manager's like, bro. I was like, doubt me, I dare you. You know what I mean?
Yep.
You know, I tell you, we've been blessed to do a lot of things, and we've toured the world. We've done TV shows, whatever. I still yet to have a song on the radio in full rotation. That's going to happen. I mean,
Okay.
Put it in the atmosphere.
That's right.
Speak it into existence.
That's right. And Rod will tell you, I'm always cutting new music, and it's just like, I don't fit the cookie cutter mold of this country music world, and I get it. And the powers that be live in this little square, don't get in or out of it. And the things that we do in the pop world, like a feature or a remix, I don't understand how they can't figure it out.
Right.
For the life of me, it ticks me off to my core, and I'm like, you're missing millions of dollars in extra revenue. Just that, and that's how pop music cultivates and turns over. They'll do a song, they'll release it. Waka Flocka will do a song, or then they'll bring in T.I. to do a verse on it to re-release, and it's another number one hit.
That's right.
And I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel. It's just common sense to me, and it's just I don't know. We have a song coming out next April. I don't know if lazy is the word. It's just no, lazy is definitely not the word, because people in this town work really hard. I think it's the inability to look around a corner.
Right.
They are so comfortable here. The minute you get comfortable, you will be outed. And I promise you. And it's like, if you don't have your head on a swivel, trying to stay in the head of the curve, there's somebody better than you coming around the corner. And that's the truth, no matter what it is.
I was telling Ethan's little baseball team about who Wally Pipp was, and Wally Pipp was the first baseman that played before Lou Gehrig. until Lou Gehrig played one game, and then Wally Pipp never played again.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So like, there's so many great lessons that are consistent across all platforms. So, all right, let's talk about family a little bit.
Yeah.
So, much like everything else you've done, everybody said you couldn't become a country recording artist. Everybody said you couldn't do this and that. A lot of people probably said you couldn't marry a supermodel, but you did.
No shot. I still doubt. We still go to Publix and they still try to separate our food.
I'm still not sure how you figured that one out.
Yeah, I don't either.
And not only that, but has the biggest heart ever, man.
She's the best human on the planet. I feel like everybody needs to find a best friend, find a cheerleader, find somebody like, just like tonight. Tomorrow I leave for Cleveland, come back. So we're flying in to do an event here, then I'm flying back to Vegas for the ACMs. And she's like, have at it. And we've all had like girlfriends or friends who are like, you can't leave, you're leaving again, this is crazy. And she can't wait for me to get out of the house.
Yep.
It's just, she understands it's what it takes to be successful. And she also understands my hustle. And I would say it's a 50-50 between hustle and pride.
Mm-hmm.
If I want to do something, it hurts my pride when I get told no. I'm going to figure out a way that's logistically the way we have to do it, approach it that way, then come in and here's the product I'm putting in front of you.
That's right. Mm. So I just remembered something else. We were, Rhea and I went through some rough times a little over 10 years ago, and where it was mostly because I was a jerk and figuring things out. But when we had nothing, Ethan was real young, and the little sandbox in the backyard, he needed a swing set.
I love it.
He needed a playground, and I don't even know how that conversation came up. Yeah,
I did too.
But
I saw him on Facebook, and I said, "Hey, he got a playground?"
That's right. That's exactly. You asked me.
I
That's
texted
right.
you if you want it.
So, folks, that's the kind of people that we're talking about here. Him and his wife were so nice to basically come and let us haul this thing out of there in a U-Haul.
You bought a house that came with a playground? Is that what it was?
And we didn't have kids at the time. I wasn't trying to encourage that. So I was like, my goal was to eventually to put a pool back there, and that didn't end up happening. But we got rid of the playground.
Yep.
Your kid got happy.
You did. He did. And honestly, believe it or not, we passed it to buddies of ours. It made it to another generation.
And we ended up building it's a great, weird story off subject, but I bought a barn in Kentucky and tore it down and built like a 20 by 20. You remember that room?
Oh, yeah.
A little 20 by 20 entertainment room in the back of the house.
Incredible.
That room was great.
That room was great. There was
It's the most comfortable couch I ever sat on also.
Yeah, it was just amazing. And they designed the inside of it to look like the outside of the barn. And there was the coolest part in that entire thing was that bar. Do you remember that bar?
Oh, yeah.
They found this piece of wood in the bottom of the Duck River. One solid piece of wood was 7.5, 8 feet long.
Okay.
Pulled it out and built a bar around the top of it.
Wow.
Took 4 dudes to carry it in.
Wow.
So it stayed with the house, but yeah.
I also remember every time we did a gig and didn't open the bottles that were on your rider, they just came home to your bar.
That's right.
That's right.
Every day is a stock the bar party.
So I had mentioned on social that I was going to be having you in, and this is for real. So you and your wife have, which we got to talk about. She's a badass.
She's unreal.
Like she ain't living in a shadow. She has her own shadow.
Yeah, she does her own thing. We have never used the same bank account since the day we got married.
That's smart. I mean, a lot of people like teach that and stuff. So it's very smart.
She told me I don't want to ever ask for money, and I said, well, here, of course, here's a credit card. You need to do whatever in the world you want. But she just said, I'm going to do my own thing. And I said, do what you do. Tell me how I can help.
That's awesome. So I want to hear about her in a minute. But you guys have 2 boys,
a girl and a boy.
Oh, sorry, a girl and a boy. Wake and Davis, 5 and 3.
Davis will be 3 at the end of this month.
That's incredible. And Wake, so Wake has a really good looking head of hair.
Wake and Davis are both ginger, brother.
So that was the question that I got is where'd the red hair come from?
I look like a fat Mark McGrath. This is my natural hair color. It's not a good look. So when I was that age, I had bright red hair, and if you put me and Opie Taylor together from the Andy Griffin Show, yeah, and our mamas would have to see who was who.
Wow. So I used to get Opie all the time.
Yeah, so in the winter it gets darker, but in the summer when we're always in the sun and the beach and whatever, it's just dirty blonde looking. Look like I hadn't washed my head in a month. kind of thing.
Gotcha. So I didn't even know that the red came from you. So mine never turned back. And you got a little ginger in yours too?
Oh yeah.
Still is. And the funniest thing, Jenna's like, well, my third aunt down on the cousin of my Aunt Stephanie's side, she had red hair. I was like, you can have it.
I heard quite a few jokes if I was ever hanging around with Wake and Jenna and be like,
Yeah, his baby. Well, my sister-in-law's redheaded, so everybody thinks they're her baby. They're babies.
Right on. Oh man.
Wake loves Rod. He's like, Dad, is Rod going to come play with me today? I'm like, no, Rod. No. He goes, you sure you can't call him? And he loves Rod. He goes on the bus with Rod. That's his go-to.
Well, he's definitely the best dressed 5-year-old I've ever seen.
He's a stud.
kid's got drip.
So so does he like Jordans as much as Rod does?
I don't know if he's got as many, but I think
He's well on his way.
he's got a few hundred pairs of Jordans.
See, Fiona over here off camera, Fiona loves J's, right? So
He's got Gucci's, Pradas, Louis. I mean, all my degenerate friends buy him shoes. And I got a buddy of mine in Cleveland sending him a bunch of Yeezys his kid grew out of. And
that's awesome.
now Davis is like growing into him, so it's cool.
So she gets to wear them too.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So, all right, so tell me about. Let's talk about your superstar wife for a minute.
Yeah.
I got to get her on, by the way. So this is her invitation right here.
And she does this literally worldwide.
It's incredible.
Like she'll get a call and she was like, "I'm keynote speaker," and I was like, "How many people's in there?" She's like, 12,000. Mm-hmm. It's nuts. She was a speaker in Hawaii and Tampa. She's going to Mexico this weekend. She's a superstar. She started. I'm going to butcher this story, but
she can correct it when she.
Yeah, absolutely. She had some kind of thyroid problem, so she started. Listen, I don't even know where the damn thyroid's at, but that was a problem. I don't even know if dudes have thyroids. Jesus Christ. But anyways, she started taking this medicine for this kind of stuff for it, and she started believing it. She swears that it really cured it. And so she got into this thing called Arbonne, and everybody's like multi-level marketing, whatever. And I get it. It's not for everybody. And full circle, speaking of full circles, number 2 in the world, number 1 in America for this company of over 400,000 employees.
Incredible.
Full blown
in
boss.
3 years, like 3 years.
Straight facts. And she was the number 1 person in the world for new signups and consultants. And I hear this pitch every day, so I could probably sell it too. But she is literally thousands and thousands, like 5,000-6,000 people underneath her.
Mm-hmm. My wife, Rhiannon, who just loves her, told me, because you guys have some really cool people for as friends. Mm-hmm. My wife wants to meet Candace Owens so bad.
Love it. She was at my house. Look at this. She was at my house yesterday.
Get out. No kidding.
Look at this. This is great. This is great.
Rhiannon, you're going to die, baby. You're going to die. It's like Candace Owens is my wife's hero, I think.
That's her and Wake on my couch yesterday.
Unbelievable. Oh, my gosh. Text that to me because I got to show Rhiannon.
That is one of the best human beings on the entire planet.
It's unbelievable. Yes, she is. And we don't know her, but just based off what she stands for. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So, well,
her husband is a complete rock star.
Yeah. Well, you'd have to be
to
just
two of the best humans. I mean, absolutely. I feel like you have to have a yin to the yang, and that's it.
That's incredible. And she's so young.
Yeah.
She's so young.
She's a boss.
So, your the multi-level marketing thing, a lot of that gets a bad rap all the time. This is totally off topic.
Well, that's because people get into it with these those grandeur expectations. I'm going to be rolling in a Range Rover next week, and they don't realize you got to put the time and the effort. You got to you're going to get 20 no's for you get 1 yes, but that 1 yes is going to be worth having everything you do.
It's just an outlet where if you're a winner, you can go in.
That's facts. And the thing is like, you've got to believe in it. If there's 1 ounce of doubt in anything you do, that is going to be eating away at your body like cancer. And that Jenna, when I leave, I want to go take some damn Arbonne pills. And I don't know. I mean,
got your fizz.
Yeah, I was like, man, give me some of that eyeliner. I'm in, man. Yeah, it's like it's literally when she talks, you believe it. Mm-hmm. I mean, she could be saying something that is completely false, which she is not. And I would I'm in. Mm-hmm. I mean, and it's like, and to hear somebody that passionate be that passionate about anything, and that knowledgeable, and hearing her just rattle this, I'm like, how do you know this?
Yeah,
and it's her life. That's what she does. I'd say it's her kids, her business, and me.
Yeah,
I might not be that high, but it's like she is, and then she handles a household of 2 kids and a multi-million-dollar business herself.
My wife and I have launched over 100 companies since we started since I started my insurance agency in 2013. Here's what I tell people all the time, because we're always interviewing for new agents. The team's growing. There's people to help, but not one person ever stands up on career day and says they're going to grow up and be an MLM. They're going to be in a multi-level marketing company.
Absolutely. We're good. Yeah.
I did, and I never. I was almost ashamed to be an insurance. I felt like I'd failed when I became an insurance agent. But it was just the right outlet at the right time.
Get a stigma of people that are just not open-minded, and and I'm going to mean this nice. There are people in this world that have to be 8 to 5 to be told what to do.
Absolutely.
You're eating at noon, you're leaving at 3. And there are people like me that,
you would die doing that.
I would never. I did it once. I got up and left. I had one job in my life. I took my vacation, never went back. Facts.
Bathroom break, and they're like, I think he's been in the bathroom for like 10 years.
Said I was supposed to come back, and I said, you know what, just keep it. Mm-hmm. Never went back to the house.
Still on vacation.
Yeah, my life's been a vacation. Thank the Lord.
Well, that's so you guys' whole empire, your whole household, and everything is built off of your own abilities to. I mean, it's not easy doing what you did. It's definitely not easy doing what she's doing. But that's why the strong stand out. That's why the winners win, and everybody else is not. If it was easy, everybody would do it.
That's right.
You know.
That's right.
So
I always tell people everybody's like DJing's easy, and I said until the first person's flipping you off in the middle of the crowd.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Rod used to have to rescue me from those people all the time.
Oh, yeah.
My people skills, I don't need rescuing. They need rescuing. I'll tell a person to go home in a second.
Yep. That's right.
Rod's like, you should be nice to him. Like, it's not nice to me, damn it. Yeah, he's right.
It's all fun until somebody pulls the power plug on you.
Yep. Ouch.
That happened to me Saturday night.
No.
Oof.
Mid-set, I'm just sitting there playing. All of a sudden, everything just goes dark. I look over, there's somebody was trying to hook a light up. I'm like, wrong cable, bro.
Oh, yeah.
That's exactly what you said.
All that stuff used to make you so mad, and all of a sudden you start sweating. Now I'm just like,
I literally just stood there and waited. I was like,
what can you do?
all right.
Yeah.
Because the minute you
When her
show
power's back up, I'll start.
Yeah, the minute you show any kind of emotions or anything towards it, the crowd feels it.
That's right.
Yeah.
So we mentioned when Rod was on that Rod was a blackout artist, a blackout DJ.
Yep.
So what you're a co-founder of?
So I have a partner, Kalika Moquin, from at the time she lived in San Diego. She lives in Vegas now. She had a couple DJs that she was just kind of pushing around, and Scam Artist was calling me and asking me to be part of Scam Artist, and which is a huge DJ company. And Sujan's done such a great job there. And Kalika was assistant's not the right word, but he was like her left hand. Mm-hmm. And Kalika would always like book me in Vegas or whatever, and I just meet her for dinner and slide her an envelope of cash or something, say thank you. She never asked for it, but I always did it. And she's like, let's get to business together. And I said, listen, I'm in the Kalika business. I'm not in the Scam Artist business. I've got too much going on right now because Scam is massive. I just had too much going on. Mm-hmm. And I said, why don't you let me have Blackout with you? And she goes, what's your idea? And I said, you got 3 DJs. I'm going to sign 30 of the biggest DJs in the world to our agency. And we're going to be the first non-exclusive agency. Just give us the right to book you. Because everybody here sign people up, they lock them up, and if they don't pitch them, they don't work. Or they take 25% of everything they do where they do. Mm. And I just don't believe in it because I live in that world. I said, let's get a game plan here. And it turned into a Vegas, Nashville, New York. And we just signed 30 of the best open format DJs we could find on the planet. And I said, let's just, instead of making, commission on a $200 DJ, let's get the right DJs in and let's push them in a rotation and through, and let's keep a standard of entertainment and excellence through. And I'm telling you, this product is going to be sought after. And there's DJs like go book yourself, do anything else, take care. You have to be promoting your own brand. If you're sitting back waiting for me to sell you, I'm not going to do it. But if you are selling yourself, I will get on top of it. Like DJ DeVille just texted me right now and asked me, he goes, I want to get into Jewel in Las Vegas. I said, hold on, here's a group text.
Awesome.
You've got to have a drive. And I always tell them, I'm not your babysitter, I ain't your mama, I ain't your agent. I'm your friend that we're going to push you in, and we're all going to benefit from it.
That's awesome.
And
That's
so
awesome.
then, and Blackout, now we just launched Blackout Live, and we're doing festivals from San Diego all the way across the country, and doing great business. And we just launched our festival in Temecula, got one in San Diego coming, Blended Music Festival. The last year was the first year in San Diego, at Nashville, and Austin, Texas. Yep.
Man,
and we got a ton of third party clients. We haven't even announced it yet.
That's awesome.
We just picked up 3 yesterday, and I was like, we're gonna have to get some help, girl.
That's awesome. Congratulations, man. That's fantastic.
Honestly, when I opened Nashville, I started with DJ DeVille because he's one of my favorites, and anybody plays music plays his music. And then I was like, Rod, you're coming on with me because I just need an anchor in Nashville.
Yep. See, and there's no better anchor to have. So, all right. Well, on that note, so you mentioned you big DeVille fan. Who was the person that you mentioned? You just you like music, got busy playing college parties and stuff like that. Who was somebody that like you looked up to make you take it to the next level?
Everybody looked up to DJ Ammon at a point because he was
same answer I had.
Yeah, he's just the first original rock star DJ. And like DJ Scribble is the reason DJs get paid today is because DJ Scribble stood his ground. And it's one of my dearest friends now. And AM is another one. He walked in, he told DJ Vice, it was like, we're going to go to Vegas and I'm going to get you paid. And yeah, so it's like if anybody's getting a paycheck more than $500 to this day, literally should send a thank you to the Lord for DJ AM and DJ Scribbles of the world. And to see them being true like rock stars, being artists, walking in at 12:31, playing at 12 or 12:30, playing at 12:31 with entourages, and now you got massive personalities that are great people, great DJs, Little John, Pauly D, and it is just that opened the world for Vegas and Miami's, Vegas, LA's, New York's, where DJs can be rock stars and come in and be their own artists, be their own people, be their own personalities. You're no longer just in how many clubs did you play the DJ booth in the back corner?
All of them until the last few years.
Yeah. Now you build a club, the DJ booth's in the middle.
That's right.
Yeah, all attention is on the DJ now.
Yep. And there's clubs I played, the only lights in the whole place are on the DJ and the bar.
When Pauly D first started in Vegas,
I was with him at Body English rehab. We were the Fro Bros.
So obviously he's a legitimate entertainer, legitimate musician now, right? So back then he was, I guess he DJ'd before and was
he was thrust in the limelight. He's a great DJ now.
That's right.
And he could hold a room then with his personality. But the thing is, here's what I appreciate about this. Anybody says anything negative about anything like that, they just really need to sit back and check themselves because he saw his flaws and he fixed it. Mm-hmm. You see everything he sees on Instagram, whatever he's playing in, he's probably practicing right now.
Yeah.
And there's not a day goes by, not that I'm anything, but there's not a day that goes by that I don't deal with some kind of music.
That's awesome. When I was in Vegas, maybe like 2011 or 12, it was when he got his first Vegas residency. They called it the residency.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And that was the moment. I just remember seeing the banner on the strip, and I thought, and it was just him. He was in like a black and white suit, just looked clean, and I was like, there's something struck me right there. I was like, dang, that's legitimate. That's real. Yeah. That's powerful. There's something, and now it's a whole.
He's a superstar.
Absolutely.
But let a superstar shine.
Absolutely. All right, so let's talk about. So you got the blackout DJs. Let's talk about true or false. You launched or are launching a tequila.
Oh, it's launched. It's called Cantera Negra.
There it is.
It is. It's. I'm not proud of how much tequila I can drink, and that is just good tequila.
Good tequila.
And the thing is, I never push it off on anybody, but every time I bring it in, they're like, that's good. And I was like, that's because you're drinking Patron, playa. Try this. So it's my fourth year with these guys, and, and they were kind enough to give me stock options, and instead of taking a lump sum, I negotiated the money down and got stock options so I could become a partner in this because that's how much I believe in it.
That's awesome. And it's just good ass stuff, man.
And it's everywhere you want to buy it.
That's right. Who else do you have business relationships with that you're sponsored by?
I've been with Monster Energy for a few years now. In a group that I've been with forever, Tin Hall, which is Stetson and Roper. They kind of come out with this brand for like Low Cash and I, because we're not the cowboy boot wearing guy, but we can it's still our core demographic. So they come out with this line called Tin Hall, and been with them for a while. And I'm just proud to announce, we signed a deal with Pepsi Stronger together this year. So we're going to be doing stuff all over the country.
With Pepsi?
We just did the Super Bowl with Pepsi. I did the Super Bowl last year with Pepsi, and NBA All-Star Game. NFL Draft's coming up, and then we just did an event Friday for all the teachers in Nashville.
That's
awesome. Low Cash downtown.
That's awesome.
They're just the best people. Lisa Baker, she just had this brainchild of how do I do something and give back to the community, and she came up with Pepsi Stronger together. Now it is just an entity all its own.
That's incredible. Talk to me about Cashville Hooligans.
Yeah, so me and a couple buddies from Love and Theft launched a clothing line called Cashville Hooligans, and it's just it's a brand that we kind of all been wearing for years. And I said, we were in Vegas at Daylight Pool actually, and I just said, why don't you let me show you what I can do? Let's take this public. He's like, I don't know. So I got the business license, I got the tax ID numbers, I got the vendors, I got the designers, and we put a whole thing together, business plan, shot it out, and it's at cashflowhooligans.com.
We mentioned Love and Theft on your episode,
Yeah.
Rod. They had a hit a few years ago before they started doing that other stuff.
Angel Eyes.
Yes,
My first number one remix.
That's right. And then you were on tour with them too, right?
Yep.
Yep.
That's awesome. It's amazing how the circles, man. And then, all right. So now you mentioned we were talking about Sony and RCA before. Who are you with now?
I'm now with BBR, John Loeb and that team over there. They've always been family because I've been out with Aldine so long. And Loeb called one day, said, stop by the office. I want to introduce you to a guy. And I walked in, and there was a dude named Blanco Brown sitting there way before
It's the coolest name ever.
He's the best human being. Blanco Brown is a light in this world. When he walks in, you don't know what he is or what he does, but you want to know. And his personality is just infectious. So he literally, Loeb is sitting where you're at, I'm sitting where we're at, and Blanco sit right in front of me and sang his entire record to me.
Get out.
Yeah. Then I helped push the Get Up to all the DJ sites and with the DJs playing it. And Blanco's just family. And Blanco left, and Loeb was like, I want to be in the DJ Silver business. And I said, well, I have an idea for you.
That's awesome.
And come up with the Roadhouse.
So what's the Roadhouse?
It's me and it's a DJ duo, and it's me and a guy from the TV show The Bachelor and The Bachelorette, Blake Horseman, and it's just party. It's just another way to invent myself. As honestly, just I sit down with Brian O'Connell and said, I feel like I'm here, but I want to be here. And he goes, how do I do it? And he goes, show me a way to sell me more tickets. So then I called Ed Worm in Chicago, and I ran this concept by him, and I cultivated it, sat back down with BOC, and he was like, I love this. And then I took it, and Kalika flew in. She was in town for some reason, and I walked out. I said, I got a meeting with the record label. We walked out. She goes, did you just get a record deal? I said, afraid so.
So when Rod was in, I still have a lot of DJ buddies around town that they all checked it out. They were all talking about how good it was and that they really enjoyed it. Like we mentioned, how you went from playing the worst. Well, all right. So we were talking about this before. What was the most favorite gig of all time, least favorite gig of all time?
Got to start with the worst. It included Rod Youree.
Of course it did.
What was the name of that bar?
Electric Cowboy.
Jesus Christ.
Jonesboro, Arkansas.
Jesus Christ. We get in this, first of all, if you're not out of business, I'm shocked of that location anyways. I felt we went to more, and they were better,
Yeah.
I think, right? I was like, oh my God. We walked in, and they set us up. First, wouldn't let us in the DJ booth. I'm like, this is strange. Put us up on this riser. Remember
Yeah.
this? Then they're like, you can't use the sound system. We don't know you. I was like, what are we going to play on, man? And they brought in two power JBL monitors. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, I think I even said it to Rod. I said, this dude plays a bingo parlor in South Jonesboro tomorrow afternoon, but we can't use a sound system?
It was like a 10,000 square foot room.
Big-ass room,
We're playing
dude.
like we're just hosting a little event outside a local cell phone store.
Yeah, and I ended up making some pretty good friends out of that, but it was just, God, what a terrible gig. Tried to give my daddy a shot of tequila that night.
Yeah, that was the first time I met your dad.
I said, my dad's a preacher.
Tried to give him a shot of tequila, and then Silver's just like, yeah, my dad's a preacher. I'm like, I wish I would have known that 5 minutes ago.
So you need gigs like that to appreciate gigs at Zoot.
Yeah, they paid for you and me to come out there. Then they also had who was it, Brandy Moses from Playboy?
Yeah, I stay in contact with her a lot. I just did, her and her husband just did that music festival in Temecula I booked for.
All three of us out there and
Just
playing on
miserable.
some powered speakers.
Just miserable. Best gig? Man, I don't know. I feel like every day is the best gig. Faster Horse. There's nothing in the world like playing Faster Horses. He goes with me every year to Faster Horses. Watershed's great. I love playing in Las Vegas. Just love the energy in Vegas. And there's not one I can just say, hey, this is. I love playing in Miami. I love playing 11 in Miami. I love doing Tortuga Music Festival in Fort Lauderdale. I have been blessed enough, and I had this conversation with my agent. I was like, I'm only going to do what I want to do when I want to do it. This days of me being Tuesday nights in Iowa because we need a paycheck is done. I'm not doing it anymore. And I said, we're going to play my buddy Johnny Cam and B&EG Group in Boston. We're going to play the Grand. We're going to play Memoirs. We're going to play Shrine. We're going to play their venues.
Yeah.
We're going to play 11 in Miami. We're going to play Dare in South Florida. and we're going to play Las Vegas and Scottsdale. That's it.
Kind of goes back to what I said on my episodes. It's okay to say no. You need to learn to say no.
Yeah,
That's right.
You don't have to say yes to everybody.
that's right. That's exactly right. And don't be afraid to say no. I was afraid to say no because I know if I don't make the money, somebody else is going to make it.
Yeah.
And I was killing myself. I did last 3 years. I did 300 plus shows. Even the year of COVID, I did 311 shows.
Wow.
And it's just I was feeling and I was just getting to where I still love to do it, but it was just, I get kids now, and you go home and
Yeah.
and he's like, "You leaving again?" I'm like, "Yes, buddy, I'm leaving again."
Yeah.
And so it's like I want to do what I want to do, and I want to be. And I'm blessed enough to be able to say, let's concentrate on Las Vegas. Let's lock down the residencies at Zouk and Resorts World Las Vegas. Let's, when we're on the East Coast, let's only play in Boston. And I want to go. I always believe go where you're wanted, not where you're accepted. And when we walk into 11 in Miami, they're like, "Welcome home, Silver." We go to Resorts World. Every one of the staff is outside waiting and hugging me. From the people cleaning the floors to the people serving drinks, every one of them come up and say hello to me. The guys in Boston, you can't wait to pick you up from dinner, to go eat dinner, then drink all night, then we're going back to the airport. It's just it's something to be said when you walked in and people are excited to have you instead of always having to. Because there are people that, without saying names, that are just, and he'll tell you this, that there's just like, God, this guy's coming tonight.
Yeah.
Right.
You never want to be that guy. And I always tell everybody, I'm not the best DJ in the world, but you're not going to find a harder worker. And I've been on the phone since 6:30 this morning.
Yeah.
And waiting for my agent to wake up in Los Angeles.
I didn't know you could stay up that late anymore.
I went to bed about 4. Yeah. But it's not going to do itself.
Well, dude, there's so much. It's a business, right?
Facts.
And regardless of the industry, business is business. I said it before about like every single person that you've mentioned, whether it be 10 years ago, 15 years ago, or 3 weeks ago. You've developed a relationship. You still talk to them. You developed relationships with the staff at places in all across the country and world and everything else. It's unbelievable and uncanny and rare, but even more so, like you've been able to take something that did not exist and turn it into basically. I think you pioneered a whole industry, bro.
I definitely. It's funny. I definitely created a genre I didn't know about.
Yeah.
And it wasn't on, and that wasn't me stroking an ego. I didn't even know that was a thing until I saw DJS Country, and everybody thinks that says DJ's Country. I started that hashtag Dee Jay Silver Country.
Wow.
It's not DJ's.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. You have been corrected.
It's a subgenre on SoundCloud.
That's right.
Quit kicking me off of SoundCloud, motherfuckers. It's great.
They need SoundCloud's rough.
Dude,
man,
they
with
kick
that.
everything I do off of that. And I should ask if we can cuss. But yeah. Kick.
You can. It's all good.
But the thing is, even all the stuff they kick me off of, I looked on it yesterday, I still do 8,700 plays a day. And I'm just like, I don't even upload anything there.
That's why everybody's moved over to Mixcloud.
Yeah, Mixcloud's killing it. That's where all my stuff goes.
Yeah.
Just, SoundCloud needs to get it together.
So, all right, I had something that I was wanting to, because the business I'm fascinated with. I'm super fascinated with the business from the sales, because like a lot of guys, you could go downtown tonight. Everybody that's push and play, they want to do what you do. They want to do what he does.
Thanks.
Right? They're wanting to do what you guys are doing. So, like, what would be? You've probably already told them, but what's the one thing? What's if they had to take one thing away from today's episode?
Be a good person.
Be a good person.
Make friends. Don't have an agenda.
That's it. So, that was what I was going to talk about exactly. So you went from playing every opportunity you got, to handpicking stuff. Us with our marketing agency, we purposely don't want to work with everybody. We want to work with certain clients,
Like-minded clients that are going to believe in you as much as you believe in them.
Absolutely, and obviously, you have to earn that, right? So when we talk about that with the new insurance agents or other companies that we work with when they start, they're like, "What is my day going to look like?" And we tell them, and it's basically from the time you wake up until the time you go to bed. And they're like, "That's I don't know if I can do that, but it's not forever.
Yeah,
It's until you don't have to do it anymore."
that's right.
Right?
They always ask me, you get this too. What are you going to do after DJing? Retire? What are you going to do?
Yeah.
Well, you'll be running businesses.
I'll have somebody running those businesses.
That's right.
Hopefully we sell every one of those damn things by that point.
That's right. Well, you're investing now. You have a personal brand, which is the most powerful thing that a person can have these days. Like, I fully believe that, like 1,000%, how important a personal brand is. It's the one thing that's recession proof.
It's still humbling to see somebody in a crowd of 30,000 people wearing one of your T-shirts.
It's incredible. I still have mine.
That they had to go out of their way, spend their hard-earned money.
Shouts to Dwayne.
Yeah, Dwayne. Yeah, it's just he's a perfect example. It's just somebody you're nice to, and you know how many people walk past Dwayne. You know he's in the front row every day.
Oh yeah,
and he's just the guy that loves what he does, and I love his energy, man. I wish I had 10,000 of that.
he's down front of every show with its DJ Silver flag.
It's facts, and that's funny. That flag though,
Even if DJ Silver's not there, he's still
you
got a
want-
DJ Silver
you want
flag.
the story of this flag, which is this. So I had this makeshift DJ case, which I think it's still in your garage.
It is.
And they didn't have a budget for me, so I literally made a flag and put it over the front of my DJ kit and DJ rig. It's not even a rig; it was a rolling case.
It was road case.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it literally was on every Aldean show, every festival, every tour we did for 10 years. And when I got my new case coming, the last show we played Arlington, Globe Life Park with the Rangers play. And I literally took it off and walked out and gave it to Dwayne.
Oh, that's awesome. I remember that thing. It was literally that was your production. It was a flag on a road case.
That was it. And now it's like just like you said, I saw Good Morning America.
Don't forget the lightsaber.
Oh, the lightsaber's legit. Yeah, it's always with me. It's still there. But he was on Good Morning America holding up for Low Cash the other day.
Yeah.
Well, guys, like he talked about authenticity, being a good person, and all that kind of stuff. Like every time I've ever been to your house, I left with something.
That's the way you're supposed to be.
Right? My wife and I still use the greatest lighters on the planet, the DJ Silver lighters from Jägermeister.
I forgot about those.
Because you gave us tons of them, and they're still. I mean, that was 10 years ago.
That's awesome.
I still have half of them
From
left.
Jägermeister.
That's right.
Those, yeah.
I got Monster Energy in my fridge.
Yeah.
That's
I
right.
was like, grab a case.
It's incredible. Like literally from playgrounds to T-shirts to gigs to you always had amazing swag. And
I just feel like you appreciate, you keep your circle close and you appreciate your circle. And then, I mean, like giving a damn lighter makes you smile, man. Take 1,000 of these lighters. I think that's what friends do. And I think people in this world, in this business, in any industry is always, what you gonna do for me? Take. And it's not about that for me. It's just like, I literally, and leave some names out yesterday. I was at dinner with my buddy and his wife was talking about I said, you got a watch? He's like, no, he wants a Rolex, but he just won't spend the money on it. Next night I walked up to him, put my Rolex on his wrist and gave it to him.
get out.
That's just what people should do. I mean, we can go buy another damn Rolex, but it's just when you see him, if I have anything that I know that could touch you, it's make you happy, bro. Have at it.
That's why you're the first person to pioneer something like this, is because you did it you took other people's feelings and you wanted to give them an experience. That's why it
I also
worked.
know what it's like to be a doormat too. So I just don't ever want to do that to somebody. Yeah, we were at Whiskey Row when we did a show a couple weeks ago, and it was a Sunday night. And you know how you totally stereotype people that come up to you?
Yeah.
I'm logging in, and God bless Blake. You got a 2013 MacBook Pro. Change the goddamn computers, right? So he's having all kinds of problems, and I walk in, I shut his laptop, I open my stuff, and I see this guy coming at me. Face tats, grilling, necklaces, some hat sideways. Like, I don't have time for this right now. And he started talking to me. I said, bro, I haven't even started. Chill out. Sit there next to me for a few minutes, and I was like, bro, what do you need? He showed me his message, and it was like, Jelly Road told me you're one of the best humans. I just want to say hello to you.
Oh, and
I literally spent the entire rest of the night buying this dude drinks and hugging him. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's just like,
Yep.
And I told him, I said, I totally just prejudged when you walked up to me. And I said,
right.
you caught me in a moment and you got the flag.
That's awesome.
And so, but it was just like, yeah, it's just, we've all been there, I feel.
Oh, yeah.
It's just, but 9 times out of 10, we're right.
This is true.
That's right.
But it's just, and I don't know, it's just, a little kindness goes a long ways. And that's, I mean, I remember when I walk into any venue, whether it's in Miami or Vegas, I say hello to everybody. That's just the way I feel like you should do.
Dude, we were Rod's groupies for a whole weekend.
Rod's Mantourage rolling in there.
You're the best cocktail servers I've ever had.
So, but I mean, it's cool, and
I picked up the Mantourage from Dee Jay Silver.
Buddy, it rolls deep.
That's
Everybody's
right.
like, you need free bottles. Like, dude, I'm rolling about 28 dudes. I'm not sure if you want those by the DJ booth.
Well, every single time we've ever been able to get out, and what, obviously we used to come to every show, and then with kids and stuff, it gets harder and harder.
Sure.
But like even you were playing at my dad has a relationship, business relationship with Bobby Pinson, who was playing at one of the Losers anniversaries a few months back. I knew you were playing it, and I just happened to text Dad, and I get a picture from Dad with you and Dad where you took the time to hang out with him for a minute.
That was a great night. And, we walked in. Remember, they were like, "You want to be on the roof?"
Yeah.
I was like, "I can go home."
You see me climbing up there?
You don't see my chunky ass crawling up those stairs, dude. Shot. It ended up being a great night. Steve Ford and Irv Woolsey become two of my dear friends, and that's who owns Doghouse in Las Vegas. And,
Yes.
And I speak to them daily.
They're awesome guys. I've actually got Steve. I'd like to get Steve in here.
Listen,
talk a little
Steve
bit
is
too.
a guy that sees the future.
Yes.
And, he graciously, we're about to announce my partnership with his brand, Kicking It Coolers. And, but Steve is just a man. So he's one of those people in your life that says what he does and does what he says.
Yeah.
And he keeps a circle around, and just, he's who I learned from, that you need a team of people.
Okay.
So, I hired, instead of paying for this monthly, I just did my own thing. I hired a full-time graphic designer, full-time guy to do the radio show, full-time guy to help me with my mixes and remixes. Lou, he's the best. I just brought them all in team, and I got a like-minded team, and we all have the same goal in life,
The something that it's taken me a long time, and I'm still working on it. When we work with so many people that it's hard to get to everybody. I can remember when the first time we got to like 40 or 50 agents, and I was like, it dawned on me. I told my wife, I was like, if I talked to every single person for just 5 minutes,
your day's gone.
And I probably ran into tomorrow. Mm-hmm. And the circle, that close circle, is what makes all that work to expand, because you can only go so far. Like how were you able to cultivate and just, because your circle's bigger now, it's getting bigger and bigger, but it's still, I see the same guys that hung out with us with Ike at Toyama, and Tornadoes.
Tornado Tuesday.
That's right.
Holy shit!
I just had the visual of D Hut.
That's right.
Getting fed and you've been a prison boy. Funniest thing about that entire situation, I was going to Vegas to get a house. Mm-hmm. And I was talking to the manager at the time, and Jason was like, "You want to come out with me?" And I said, "If I don't have anything with you, I got nothing in Nashville. I'm going to go where it's a sure thing. Go to Vegas." Long story short, we come to Nashville. Find a house on Craigslist. And if this isn't a Nashville story, I've told this 100 times. Find a house in Nippers Corner in Craigslist.
Yeah, I live right down the road from you.
Yeah, we all lived in this circle. I had no idea. I found it on Craigslist because I was so shocked how cheap Nashville was to live at the time.
Back then, yeah.
Because Austin was through the roof. And I show up, so I was just going to get a second place. And I show up, and Larry Gatlin from the damn Gatlin Brothers on the front porch. If that's not a Nashville story.
At Nippers Corner.
Yeah. So he was my landlord for 2 years. And
he was your landlord?
Oh, yeah. And what is it, Sweet Cece's at Candy, at the ice cream spot?
Yeah, right across the street.
I met Dallas Davidson at Sweet Cece's. There's a great clips where I met Tyler Hubbard and Brian Kelly from Florida Georgia Line. Chase Rice lived with them.
At Great Clips.
Yeah. Just
I will never dog Great Clips again.
And it was just this little circle of... it was just this little strip mall of just like Great Clips. There's a
Starbucks,
all kinds of stuff. Yeah, so right over there in that area. And to this day, I mean, I talked to Chase this morning. I mean, Chase lives a mile away from me, but don't let that mile fool you. He's doing good for himself.
So we mentioned Tornado Tuesdays.
Yeah.
So you guys were kind enough to introduce me. Well, maybe you weren't kind enough.
I don't know if that's
to the Tornado.
Or not.
Between the three of us, can any of us figure out how that started?
I can tell you how it started. I got drunk at that bar with that Asian dude that night.
That was a crazy crew because there was that. You guys taught me that Applebee's has Jello shots behind the bar.
Yeah.
Speaking of Ichabod,
yeah, we're still banned from Applebee's, but whatever.
Do you remember?
That's
Carl
the
was
Walker
the
Hayes
GM.
song too.
God damn it, it's Carl.
That's right.
He was singing R. Kelly's Ignition.
Walking through the kitchen, fresh and hot out the kitchen.
That's right. Just walking around
with a giant ground pepper shaker as a microphone.
And I still talk.
He just sat down at some random people's table and started singing to them.
Wailing.
That's the best video I have on my phone.
Oh yeah, he comes out of the kitchen, he's still singing. He goes, "God damn it, it's Carl!" And I still talk to him about it. He's a fishing charter whatever fisherman in Houston.
That's awesome.
I need to circle back to Jonesboro real quick.
Okay.
Was that the hotel where you could put your foot
Put
in
the
bed
jacuzzi?
and in the bathtub also at the same time?
Keeping it classy in the borough. You can sit on the bed and put your left foot in the hot tub. You know, we made it.
So the tornado. So Fiona, the tornado was. It was the. I don't know. Did the whiskey always get dropped in
so
first?
it was 3 parts of Japanese beer.
Yep, Sapporo, I think.
Something, whatever. I'm sure it was not Sapporo. I know Ike. It was knockoff.
It was natural light.
Then, right. Then it was a shot of Jack Daniels, and you put a napkin inside over the top of it, and you swish it around, and it makes a tornado, and you have to drink it all in one shot. Then you take,
Napkin gets wet, and then there was a flat screen behind the bar, and you would take and you'd throw the napkin would stick to the flat screen, and that's how you kept count of your drinks.
He would hit that TV every time. Yeah. I was like, bro. But it just started because we started just going over there, and I got plastered at the bar by myself one day with him.
Dude, it was awesome. And every time we came in, he was always at the door. That's the owner that was always standing by the door. And then the place would be closed, and we would hang with him.
We kept that place open for a minute, though.
Yeah.
I mean, financially for a while. We paid for everything.
Yes.
Ike wasn't giving us nothing.
No.
But
I mean, the fact that we could go to a hibachi restaurant and then go across the street to an Applebee's on Tuesday night.
And then we would go DJ.
then not go to jail.
Then go to downtown.
Yeah.
That's right.
Jesus Christ. Yeah.
But you guys, so this is legitimate, folks. Like they were like, yeah, the Applebee's has Jello shots behind the bar. It's not on the menu. And then we went and tried it out. Went to multiple ones. They all had them. It was
You
crazy.
just got to ask for it. We became regulars. I'm not proud of that at Applebee's.
So
Times have changed.
Well, back then Applebee's was fine dining for me, man. You know.
Yeah. Were you living in Murfreesboro still at Applebee's?
Maybe for a little. No,
No, you
I was
had
probably
an
up here
apartment. You had an apartment over here. Yeah.
because I came up here in 2013.
What
so.
a disaster. Yeah. Disaster. The worst part is him having to take me to the airport after a night at Drink or My.
And then you stealing my hash browns out of my bag.
Listen, I used to be really good at drinking Jameson. So, man, I was just eating, and they just kept coming. And I was like, wait a minute, I already ate mine. It was just an endless bag of hash browns. I ate all his food.
I dropped them off at the airport and I circled back around to the McDonald's drive-thru to refill.
That might have been the last time I had McDonald's. I like those breakfast burritos, though.
Every time you say Jameson, though, I just think about the fashion show we did for CMA week.
Me and Clay Walker.
And Luke Bryan.
Yeah, that's right. And
Because that was right after the Nashville floods, and Luke saying,
We're the
rain,
first-
rain is a good
you
thing.
got to tell
we're
that
the first
story.
we're the first thing to open that Wild Horse. And it was like, was it Clay Walker? Or was it Clint Black? It was Clay.
It was Clay.
10:30 in the morning, hammered.
Yeah.
A bottle rolls out from an empty bottle of Jameson rolls out of my DJ booth and rolls across the stage.
Well, we did an event the night before that we stayed up all night for, then walked in the next morning. Silver, to quote him, was like, I'm either going to need to take a shot right now or I'm going to shit my pants.
Yeah.
So we decided to take shots.
Either this dance floor is open or we're going to have an accident. That's for sure.
Yeah, but that's where I remember Luke Bryan singing "Rain is a good thing."
Oh, you
And
got to
we're
tell that
we're like,
story.
I forgot.
Too soon, Luke.
Yeah.
Rain is not a good thing in Nashville.
And who was...
It was right after the flood.
Yeah,
it was the first time it opened since the flood.
And that was his big hit. And he
Yeah.
walked out there and
Hey, y'all, Luke Bryan. Rain's a good thing.
everybody was like, no.
no, rain's not a good thing.
I can personally tell you I don't remember any of it. I told Rod the only way we're getting through this is just keep drinking.
Yep.
So they're like, they came over and they come with like one glass, and I was
Yeah.
like, bro, what's your name? And I said, what's it gonna take just to bring that bottle over here, cowboy? And who was the sweet lady that was the host? Gosh, was it Crook and Chase?
I believe you might be right. Yeah,
She still loves me to
Lorianne?
this day.
yeah.
Lorianne?
Yeah.
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 My dad used to work with
Still
Charlie
loves me to
Lorianne.
this day. And I don't know why. I remember at one time she leaned over and said, y'all just shut up.
Mike's hot. Stop talking.
But that Juliana Huffgirl, remember that?
She's such a pro, though. Lorianne's such a pro.
I literally stopped the music and said, good Lord.
You said thank you, Mom and Dad.
Thank you, Mom and Dad. That's funny.
So there was through all the struggles and everything else, there was some good times.
That's always
We've
good.
matured a little since then.
Yeah, well, had to.
That's right. Well, so why? What do you mean by?
Oh,
what do you mean
no,
by that?
it's
No,
just-
that's you're right though.
Now I
had
got
to.
people depending on me. I'm not living like a gypsy, and
That's right.
I get employees, I get businesses, I got reputation, believe it or not, to uphold.
Absolutely.
I got a wife. I never want to embarrass. I got 2 kids that one day I'm going to have to explain myself to.
Sure.
And I just, if somebody asked me the other day, we did an interview, what do you want your kids to know about you? And it kind of hit me really hard. I never thought about it.
That was the question I had. That's good.
And it just literally stopped me because I've never thought. And I was like, it's easy to say, Daddy did this, Daddy did this, but I want somebody to be able to walk up and say, dude, your dad was a good dude, man. He was nice to me. He was like,
yeah,
he doesn't have to be. Just is so cool, and just he was a nice guy. That's all it is.
Well, when you had to be, everybody at some point in time, sometimes you have to be nice, but it's not all the time, and it's a choice. And I just, again, like, people, the reason that you're successful and as successful as you are is because of how nice of a guy you are, like, for real. Like, but first of all, you're not a pushover. Nice is not a pushover, right?
And if I have to handle business, we will. But I mean, I think I'm gonna exhaust every opportunity before I'm like, look, man.
I was really impressed with you when, because when we would do stuff, I would ask if I could book you, and I never really asked for anything. You always took care of me more than I would have even asked for. But you were always, when it came to the business, like, I learned a lot. You were firm. You were quick. You knew the business. You were an expert at what you're doing. You could negotiate. You've never had sales training before.
No, I had one. I sold AM radio once. I was awkwardly great at it.
Well, that's what I was going to say. But
nobody trained me. I did. What is it when you do when you get a record deal and they put you through
media training?
Media training.
Yeah.
Bitch.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm gonna teach this class.
Uh-huh.
They made me go through it twice.
Did they really?
Yeah.
I
lost attention the first few times.
You might need a third time.
No, I need to start an LLC. Business license. Let's go.
Well, dude, there's so many people are. That's what I do is we train sales. I've studied it. It's a science and everything. But you do so many things. I was curious. I didn't know if anybody ever did train you because there's so many fundamentals of it that you do exactly right.
They gave me. I read one book. It was The Wizard of Ads. Do you remember that book?
I do remember that book, but I didn't read it.
Yeah, and
I'm gonna go back and read it.
Yeah, and it literally. I don't even know if they. I mean. I found this in an airport one day, and I read it, and it was just like, gosh, a lot of this is just common sense that sometimes you need to hear. Mm-hmm. Made a lot of sense.
So, and with you guys being out in Vegas all the time, I got to get you guys I mentioned it before with my buddy Brad, Bradley, and his podcast Dropping Bombs. You guys have oh my God, he's such a great,
love it.
His questions and stuff. He's a badass, man. He's awesome. All right. So what else, is there anything else that the folks would want to know? I mean, serious, your list, all your accomplishments already, is just so long. I could have read those just for a while. I mean, you've played some of the best venues on the planet. You've played at MLB All-Star Games, Wrigley Field, Fenway Park. You've played with Kid Rock too. That's awesome. He's awesome.
He's great. He's funny.
The best Vegas residencies in the United States in Miami, Las Vegas, Atlantic City, San Diego, California. San Diego's the best weather ever, bro.
Ever. That's the reason it's so expensive. I haven't been to San Diego in a minute, though. But close second to Scottsdale for sure.
The one gig that stands out to you, biggest of them all.
I think the first time I played Madison Square Garden.
There it is.
That was cool. Real cool. Everybody at the Garden. You think about when you're walking to play the Garden. They always have somebody walk with you, and they're like, Elvis, he was here. Swedish House Mafia was the night before us. This is where Jay-Z stands. This is where Elton John sits. This is and it's just like, I don't even deserve to be here for a second. But I will tell you the coolest thing. We got up and played and did our thing, and I walked off the stage, and the guy goes, "Hey boy," it was the security guard. I said, "Yes sir." He goes, "You just rocked the Garden." I said, "Yes, I did."
That's right.
But we go upstairs to the dressing room, and Jason had the big dressing room, and I had one about half this size, and for some reason everyone wanted to be in my dressing room. And 2 dudes in suits knocked on the door, and it was the owner of the basketball team that plays at the Garden. He said his son wanted to meet me, and I ended up hanging out with him the rest of the night. It was just so cool.
Dang, that's cool, man. That's cool. Well, let's make sure everybody knows. Rod, what have we missed? Like, what have we missed? What stands out that we missed? Because I mean, you've been there for everything.
What's this podcast rated? That's the question.
What's the podcast rated? You weren't you were not the first. You weren't the first. Yeah.
I was like, shit, that's too. I've already passed that. Unless you got a beat button.
There, it is. Our audience is about as broad as you can get. We're in a couple dozen countries and half the United States, and I mean, gosh, my kid listens to every one of these. You know what I mean? So
he's a little man now, that's for sure.
He sat in a chair. He had to do an episode. He did outstanding.
Yeah, gets it from his dad. That's for sure. He can talk.
Youngest kid I've ever seen has abs.
Really?
Oh, dude, we worked out this morning before we went to school.
I've never been accused of either one of those.
So he works hard, man. He works hard. Did I tell you he got booked on a Broadway show?
No.
During COVID, Ace Young and Diana DeGarmo
That's cool.
hooked him up for the School of Rock, the live thing that was on the
that's really
ponies
cool.
and everything.
I've heard a lot.
We couldn't. We actually had to. He got cast as a lead, and we had to turn it down because the baby Ansley was coming. We were going to have to relocate to Utah.
Oh, I forget it. We go through that all the time. Like they always call them. They're like, we need Wake to be in this or Wake to be in this. Or I'm just like, I want Wake to be a kid.
That's right.
And I'm not uprooting to Utah.
That's right. That's right. Well, the people were so nice, but it was just cool for him because he did all the auditions and they were all virtual because of COVID, right? So
he just bossed it and they just closed it down.
Oh, he's a beast of a drummer.
He really is. He's really, really good.
Nice.
He's really, really good. And he asks about you guys all the time. There's pictures of both of you with him. He came and he was cool. He got to hang out with you in the VIP at the Nashville Sounds back then when you were only playing AAA stadiums.
I love it. No, that was a good time. We had to still have those jerseys.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Rod, what have we missed, man? I've had a blast. This has been great.
Been fun.
Can you guys believe we've been going for over an hour already?
Yeah, I'm starving. You can't put me this close to a Mexican restaurant. Not expecting.
Yeah, we're going next door after this.
Heck yeah, man.
I think we pretty much covered it all. Covered most of it.
No matter what, whether you're in music, in business, in whatever, you got to be authentic.
Right.
You got to learn to sell. You got to get told no.
Be a good person.
Be a good person.
That's it. That'll go a long ways, man.
Be a good person.
Good way to get through life. Yeah. Be a good person.
Work hard. Know what you want.
And the thing is, we all have our moments, and I don't know if it's me growing up, but I catch myself about to have one, and I literally try to either change it here or remove myself from a situation. I just had one of those days the other day. I just said, I'm done with this day because I caught myself barking at an old lady, and I was like, God damn, I'm so sorry. I did not. I'm so sorry.
Well, all right. Let's make sure everybody knows where to find you, man, because you're everywhere.
Yeah,
right?
just socials is at Dee Jay Silver 1, DEEJAY Silver 1. Put a little box underneath me. That'll be good.
There you go. And, they will. Connor will make that happen.
Then website's DJ Silver, and all the links are there.
There you go.
Spell it out, DEEJAY Silver.
That's right. DJSilver.com, DEEJ.
You can find Rod at silversmyhero.com.
Yes.
Absolutely. That's great.
No, I'm thankful for this guy. He's been my wingman.
It's actually .org.
Yeah. It was taken.
I couldn't afford .com.
Yeah.
And then all your socials, Twitter, Instagram, DJ Silver 1. New to TikTok, got one that went nuts on there.
Yeah.
So DJ Silver official.
Let a 1-year-old dance a sex machine. That's what happens.
That's fantastic, man. Well, folks, and then again, where's you're on Pitbull on Sirius?
I'm on a rotation there, so it's every couple 3 months on Channel 13, Pitbull Globalization. But I got a radio show syndicated nationwide called the Country Club. So.
Excellent.
It might be in your town.
Boom. And plans for the summer? Any tours?
Yeah, we leave in July with Jason. It's me and Aldine and Gabby Barrett and John Morgan.
Fantastic. That's a good lineup.
Mm-hmm.
Coming to a city near you.
That's right. That's right. And then residencies.
Vegas and Atlantic City, pulling Boston, a lot of Florida, and hopefully you spend more time in Nashville this year.
Absolutely. If they want to keep up with you, they can check you out on social. You always tell them where you're going to be. That's right. Instagram's the spot. Well, anything else, guys? Like, this has been great. Thank y'all so much for being here.
I'm proud of you, man. I love what you got going on here.
Taco time?
What is it? Tuesday.
Taco Tuesday.
Or is it Wednesday? Taco time.
That's right. It's Tuesday.
Is it?
We got it right.
I love it.
Well, folks, thanks so much for tuning in to another episode of The Hit Streak. I'm your man, Nick Hyder. Thanks for tuning in. God bless.